Imagine starting each morning with a mind so focused and strong that no challenge, big or small, has the power to shake you. What if you could greet stress, setbacks, or criticism with a calm, steady smile, simply because you know you're in control of both your thoughts and your actions? This isn't just wishful thinking, it's the Stoic way of life. It's a philosophy that's been practiced for centuries by wise thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, all in the pursuit of resilience, wisdom, and inner calm. According to the Stoics, the words you choose to repeat to yourself each day have the ability to shape your mindset, influence your decisions, and ultimately define your character. Negative thoughts have a way of trapping you inside fear and self-doubt, but simple and powerful phrases can completely shift your perspective, empowering you to live with intention. In this video, I'm going to share 10 Stoic affirmations that you can say daily. Each of them has been carefully selected to help you stay grounded, become stronger, and evolve into the best version of yourself. These aren't just sentences. They are mental tools meant to help rewire your thinking and enable you to thrive no matter the circumstances. Make sure you stay with me until the end, because these ideas just might change the way you live your life every single day. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you can join our community, people who are all seeking a deeper and more meaningful life. I'm here to offer you practical wisdom to help you grow, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Let's now explore these 10 Stoic affirmations, each one paired with a clear lesson and real-life example to make them truly stick. Number 1, I control what I do, not what happens. This core Stoic teaching gives us one of the most essential lessons in life. We can divide life into two categories: what we can control and what we can't. Our thoughts, actions, decisions, and efforts are within our power, but outcomes, how others react, or external events, they're beyond our control. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest philosophers, said it best: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Consider a real-world example. Let's say you're preparing for a big presentation at work. You put in hours of research, practice thoroughly, and deliver your speech with confidence. But afterward, your boss doesn't respond with the praise you were expecting. If you focus only on their reaction, you'll likely feel discouraged. But if you shift your focus toward your effort and preparation, the things within your control, you'll realize you did your best, and that's something to take pride in. The key lies in directing your energy toward what you can influence, your actions, rather than obsessing over results that are out of your hands. This Stoic principle is at the core of emotional resilience. So, the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, be it before a test, a date, or a high-stakes meeting, pause and ask yourself, what is actually within my control here? Maybe it's how well you prepare, showing up on time, staying calm, or simply putting in your best effort. Focus on those things. Write them down. Let go of the rest. Whenever your thoughts drift toward anxiety or stress, gently bring yourself back with the phrase, I control what I do, not what happens. This simple shift helps you lower stress by refocusing your attention on what you can influence, instead of what you can't. With consistent practice, this mindset becomes second nature. You'll begin to feel less anxious and more at peace, because your sense of self-worth won't hinge on outcomes you can't determine. By focusing on your own actions and how you respond to each situation, you'll tap into an inner strength that remains steady, regardless of the circumstances. Over time, this way of thinking transforms the way you approach difficulties and successes alike. Rather than letting outside events shape your emotional state, you'll begin to master your reactions. And the more you strengthen this mindset, the more grounded and resilient you become. Life won't suddenly get easier, but you'll gain the power to choose how you meet it. True strength doesn't come from controlling the world, it comes from mastering your own thoughts, behaviors, and emotional responses. Number 2, every problem teaches me something. This empowering Stoic idea encourages us to see challenges not as personal defeats, but as openings for growth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he meant is that obstacles aren't just blocking your path, they can become the path. They hold within them the very lessons we need to move forward. Life throws us all kinds of difficulties, from small annoyances to life-changing events. Think back to a time when you faced something tough. Maybe you failed an important exam, lost a job, or went through a breakup. In the moment, it probably felt crushing. But looking back now, you may realize that experience taught you something valuable. Perhaps it taught you how to persevere, how to prepare better, or even how to be more patient with yourself and others. Even small frustrations, like being stuck in traffic or waiting in a long line, carry lessons if we're willing to look for them. They can help us develop patience, mindfulness, and emotional regulation. Instead of letting frustration take over, the Stoic approach is to pause and reflect. What can this moment teach me? Is it pushing me to stay calm under pressure, to be more disciplined, to grow stronger in discomfort? This doesn't mean pretending that setbacks don't hurt. It means accepting them as part of life, and then extracting something useful from them. When something goes wrong, try asking yourself, what's this here to teach me? By doing that, you shift your focus from victimhood to growth. And once you begin practicing this, you'll start seeing problems less as threats and more as teachers. Rather than feeling defeated when things don't go your way, you'll feel empowered, because you'll know that each experience, good or bad, is shaping you into a more capable version of yourself. So the next time life feels unfair or frustrating, remind yourself, every problem teaches me something. Write down the lesson, carry it with you, and let it guide your future choices. Over time, this small mental shift builds a deep sense of calm and confidence. You'll stop seeing problems as blocks and begin seeing them as stepping stones, each one preparing you for whatever lies ahead. Number 3, I can handle this. These 4 words hold immense power, especially in moments when life feels like too much. The Stoics strongly believed that if a challenge appears in your life, it's because you're equipped to face it. Marcus Aurelius echoed this truth when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In other words, even when the situation feels out of control, your response to it is always within your reach. Think back to a time when something in your life felt overwhelming. Maybe it was a major failure, the end of a relationship, or a workload that seemed impossible to manage. You may have felt scared, uncertain, or ready to give up. But here's the truth. You made it through. You're still standing. That's proof you're far more capable than you tend to believe. Now picture this. You're facing a financial crisis. Bills are stacking up, income is tight, and the pressure keeps building. It's easy in that moment to fall into panic or despair. But panic won't solve the problem. What matters is taking action. You pause, take a breath, and think clearly. What can I do right now? Maybe it's finding a temporary gig, cutting non-essential expenses, or simply reaching out for help. The issue isn't just the money, it's letting fear freeze you into inaction. Courage, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to move forward despite it. Resilience, they taught, is forged from the inside. No matter what you're facing, you have the ability to meet it head-on, step by step. You don't have to figure everything out at once. Just take the next right step. And when that pressure starts to build again, come back to this affirmation. I can handle this. Say it aloud or quietly to yourself. It acts like an anchor, pulling you back into clarity and action. Real strength doesn't come from having a life free of hardship. It comes from facing challenges and showing up anyway. Each time you survive a hard moment, you're building evidence of your strength, evidence that you can draw on again and again. So next time anxiety creeps in, pause, breathe, write down one small action you can take. Then remind yourself, I can handle this. This mindset won't make your problems disappear, but it will give you the courage and clarity to face them. It shifts your focus from fear to action, from helplessness to resilience. Life may not get easier, but you'll grow stronger with every step you take. Number 4, nothing can upset me unless I let it. At the very core of Stoic emotional discipline is this powerful idea that no event or person has the ability to disturb your peace unless you allow it to. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to us that creates suffering, but how we interpret and react to it. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most influential voices, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." In other words, the majority of our frustration, stress, and anxiety doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from the stories we tell ourselves about those events. Picture this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart races, irritation surges, and you're tempted to lash out. But pause for a second. What really happened? A car changed lanes. That's it. The rest, the anger, the tension, the stress, is something your mind created in response. Or imagine you receive a rude email from a colleague. It's easy to let that one message replay in your head all day, infecting your mood and energy. But again, you have a choice. You can choose whether or not that message deserves your attention or your peace. This is where the true Stoic power lies, in the ability to choose your response. You can't control the rudeness of others, traffic delays, bad news, or unexpected changes. But you can control whether you let those things ruin your peace of mind. That's a freedom most people never realize they have. Here's the real-life application. The next time you feel triggered by a comment, a delay, or a situation, take a breath. Don't respond right away. Instead, ask yourself, am I letting this steal my peace? More often than not, the answer will remind you that you're in control. That moment of pause becomes your power. Repeat to yourself, nothing can upset me unless I let it. That phrase works like a shield, giving you just enough distance to choose a calm, thoughtful reaction instead of an emotional one. Over time, this mindset helps you become less reactive, more grounded, and emotionally tougher. You begin to realize that your inner peace is something you can protect, not something the outside world gets to control. The world will continue being chaotic, and people will continue being unpredictable. But with practice, you'll stop giving away your serenity so easily, and that, in itself, is a kind of strength most never develop. Number 5. What people think doesn't make me who I am. This affirmation is one we all need to remember, especially in a world where opinions are constant and often loud. People will have thoughts about how you look, how you act, what you say, or even what you choose not to say. But the Stoics taught that your value doesn't come from what others think about you. It comes from your own character, from how you choose to live, act, and think. Epictetus once said, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them." In simpler terms, it's not the comment, the side glance, or the silence that truly hurts. It's the meaning you attach to those things. Think about how easy it is to let others define our worth. You post something that feels meaningful to you, but it doesn't get much attention. Suddenly doubt creeps in. Was it not good enough? Did people not care? But the reality is, nothing about your message or your worth changed. Only your interpretation did. Or imagine a coworker makes a snide comment about your idea during a meeting. It stings, but does that really define who you are? Probably not. That person likely doesn't fully understand your effort, your goals, or your journey. Their opinion is just that, an opinion, not a reflection of your value. Marcus Aurelius reflected on this human tendency when he observed, "We love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." We often forget that we know ourselves better than anyone else does, and yet, we allow fleeting judgments from strangers or acquaintances to carry more weight than our own principles and efforts. Real-life application. The next time someone judges you, criticizes you, or overlooks you, stop and ask yourself, do they really know me? And then follow up with, does this change who I am? The answer, most likely, is no on both counts. Let the phrase, "what people think doesn't make me who I am," be your mental armor. It reminds you to stay true to yourself, to your values, your growth, your journey, regardless of how others respond. When you define your worth based on integrity, kindness, courage, and effort, instead of likes, praise, or social approval, you become emotionally untouchable. Your self-respect strengthens, and the noise of the outside world begins to lose its grip. And when you stop chasing validation, you start living freely and fully as the person you were always meant to be. Number 6. Right now is all I have. Among the most profound teachings in Stoicism, and in life itself, is the reminder that the only moment we truly possess is the present one. Marcus Aurelius often urged himself to confine yourself to the present, because the past is already behind us and cannot be changed, while the future remains uncertain and out of reach. What we do have is this very moment, right here, right now. Consider how often we let moments slip away because our minds are somewhere else. You might be enjoying a delicious meal, yet instead of savoring it, you're mentally consumed with tomorrow's to-do list or yesterday's mistakes. Or you're spending time with someone you love, but half your attention is on your phone or future worries. In those moments, you may be physically present, but mentally, you're absent. And that's not truly living. That's missing life as it's happening. Even at work or in daily routines, our attention tends to drift toward what's coming next. Deadlines, promotions, the next big thing. But Stoicism encourages us to bring our full focus to the task at hand. If you're working, then work with all your attention. If you're with someone, be fully with them. If you're resting, allow yourself to really rest. That is how you begin to live with presence and purpose, rather than constantly chasing the future or clinging to the past. Here's the real-life practice. The next time you notice your mind wandering into regret over what's already happened or anxiety over what might come, pause. Take a slow breath. Bring your awareness back to what's right in front of you. Notice the sounds around you, the sensations in your body, even the rhythm of your breathing. These small acts of mindfulness help anchor you to the now. Say to yourself, "Right now is all I have." And let those words bring you back into the richness of the present. When you truly embrace this mindset, everyday moments start to feel more meaningful. You begin to appreciate life, not as a future goal to reach, but as something happening now. One breath, one step, one moment at a time. This isn't just about mindfulness. It's about reclaiming your life from the endless loop of regret and worry. Because the truth is, all of your power exists in the present. The actions you take, the choices you make, and the way you show up, all of it happens now. So choose to be here. Be fully present, because right now is all any of us ever really have. Number 7. I grow stronger by doing hard things. This affirmation captures a core truth of Stoic philosophy, that strength isn't something we're simply born with, but something we build, especially through difficulty. The Stoics believe that challenge is not just inevitable, it's essential. Without resistance, there is no growth. Without difficulty, there's no true strength. Just like muscles only develop through strain, your inner resilience is forged through adversity. When you encounter something hard, whether it's waking up early to train, having a tough conversation, facing rejection, or dealing with failure, your instinct might be to avoid it. That's natural. But Stoicism encourages the opposite. Lean into the discomfort. Because every time you face something difficult and still move forward, you grow tougher, wiser, and more capable than before. Think of a time in your life when you pushed through something that felt nearly impossible. Maybe you stayed committed during burnout, supported someone through loss, or pushed yourself to break through fear. It was painful, yes. But look at the version of you that emerged on the other side. That strength didn't come from ease. It came from effort, from struggle, from showing up when it would have been easier to quit. In the Stoic view, hardship is the training ground of character. Each challenge becomes a test and an opportunity to strengthen your patience, focus, discipline, or courage. So rather than fearing difficulty, welcome it. See it as the path to becoming who you're meant to be. Here's how you can apply this. The next time you face something you don't want to do, or something that scares or exhausts you, pause. Instead of saying, "This is too much," say, "This is how I grow stronger." Remind yourself that on the other side of discomfort is transformation. The hard thing isn't in your way, it is the way. When you repeat this affirmation, "I grow stronger by doing hard things," you shift from avoidance to purpose. You stop seeing effort as suffering and start seeing it as building. Because every time you choose discipline over ease, courage over fear, and action over comfort, you become a stronger version of yourself. And the best part? Over time, what once felt hard becomes your new normal. You adapt, you rise, and you become someone who doesn't just endure difficulty, you grow through it. Number 8, I don't have to react to everything. This affirmation reminds us of something the Stoics mastered, the art of self-restraint. In a world where quick reactions are the norm, the ability to pause is a superpower. The Stoics believed that our strength doesn't lie in always speaking up or pushing back, but in our ability to choose when and whether it's even worth it to respond at all. Every day, you're confronted with things that could trigger you. an insult, a disagreement, a frustrating email, a negative comment online. The natural response might be to react immediately, to defend, to argue, to fire back. But the Stoic mindset challenges that instinct. Just because something provokes you doesn't mean you need to give it your energy. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, "You always have the option of having no opinion." That's powerful, because silence, stillness, and space can sometimes be the strongest response. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every battle is worth your time. Think about this in real life. Someone criticizes you unfairly. Instead of lashing out, you take a breath and remind yourself, their opinion is not my truth. Or maybe you're caught in a heated conversation, tensions rising, and you decide not to escalate. In that moment, your choice not to react adds to your strength, not your weakness. Here's the application. The next time something pulls at your emotions, before you hit reply, before you say those words, before you act, pause. Ask yourself, does this require my response? Will reacting improve the situation, or will it just add fuel? Most of the time, you'll realize it's better to step back than step in. Say it to yourself clearly, I don't have to react to everything. That sentence acts like a boundary, protecting your peace. It returns your power to you, because when you choose your reactions instead of handing them over to emotion, you stay in control. The more you practice this, the less power external events have over your mood, your energy, and your mental space. You become less impulsive, more intentional. And in a world that constantly pulls at your attention, your ability to pause, to choose silence over noise, becomes one of your greatest forms of strength. Number 9, I am not my emotions, I observe them. This Stoic affirmation draws a powerful line between what you feel and who you are. The Stoics didn't believe in suppressing emotion, they believed in understanding it. Emotions will always rise. Anger, fear, sadness, frustration, but what matters is how you relate to them. You are not your anger, you are not your anxiety. You are the one watching those emotions come and go. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." That includes your emotional responses. When a feeling surfaces, you don't have to become it. You don't have to act on it. You don't even have to judge it. You can simply observe it, like watching clouds drift across the sky. The feeling appears, it peaks, and then eventually it fades. Picture this, you're hit with a wave of frustration. Maybe your plans got canceled or someone said something hurtful. In that moment, the feeling can seem overwhelming. But instead of reacting immediately, the Stoic approach is to pause and notice. I'm experiencing anger right now. That little bit of space changes everything. You're no longer trapped in the emotion. You're watching it, naming it, creating distance between the feeling and your response. Here's a practical way to apply this. Next time an intense emotion hits, take a breath and silently say, "This is what anger feels like," or "This is sadness passing through." Don't fight it, don't become it, just witness it. The act of noticing gives you a moment of clarity, and in that clarity, you regain control. The affirmation, "I am not my emotions, I observe them," is not about denying how you feel. It's about refusing to be ruled by every emotional wave. When you stop identifying with your emotions, they lose their power to steer your actions. You respond instead of react. You understand instead of explode. Over time, this practice builds emotional intelligence and inner calm. You'll no longer feel hijacked by temporary feelings. Instead, you'll remain steady and centered. Even in the middle of emotional storms, you become the calm eye in the chaos. And that calm gives you strength, clarity, and peace no matter what emotions pass through your day. Number 10. Each day is a chance to begin again. This final affirmation is a powerful Stoic reminder that no matter what happened yesterday, no matter what you got wrong, what you missed, or what you regret, today is a clean slate, a new beginning. The Stoics believe that each sunrise offers us a fresh opportunity to live with intention, to correct our course, and to align more closely with our values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote to himself as if to say, "Begin again." Not because he had failed, but because he recognized the importance of returning to what matters, again and again. No one is perfect. We all stumble, we all get distracted, we all fall short sometimes. What matters most is how quickly we return. When you wake up in the morning, you can choose to carry yesterday's mistakes with you, or you can choose to treat this day as a new opportunity to act with clarity, purpose, and courage. The Stoics didn't believe in wasting time on shame or guilt. They believed in taking responsibility, learning, and moving forward. Every day. Think of a time when you felt like you'd lost momentum. Maybe you broke a promise to yourself, lashed out in frustration, or gave up on something too soon. It's easy to feel discouraged, like you failed. But the Stoic approach reminds you, you're never stuck. You always have the ability to begin again with the next breath, the next decision, the next small action. Here's how you can live this truth. When you feel like you've messed up or drifted off course, take a moment to pause. Say to yourself, that was then, this is now. Don't wait for a new week or a new month to restart. This very moment is your reset button. Repeat the affirmation. Each day is a chance to begin again. Let it remind you that growth isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day with the courage to try again, to be better, to live more intentionally, even in the face of imperfection. Over time, this mindset builds grace and resilience. You stop letting failure define you, and instead you define yourself by your willingness to keep going. And that's what truly counts. Because in the Stoic way of life, your effort in the present moment is what shapes your future and your character. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.